Hey there, everybody. I am King 5 meteorologist Leah Pezzetti. It is Sunday evening, and I wanted to take a moment to give you an extended look at your forecast because we have a lot going on. It is a first alert weather day, and we are not done with the first alert flag being raised. So I do want to quickly show you the records that we have broken. Today is Sunday in Western Washington. Bellingham, not quite there. 82 degrees is what we observed. 85 is the record, but SeaTac did break the daily record. 89 degrees observed, breaks the record by 1 degree of 88 degrees. That was our previous record. Olympia hit 95 degrees on Sunday. 94 was the previous record. And when we talk about these records, this is the warmest temperature we have felt in observed history or on record on this calendar date. So that's what we mean when we say daily records. And don't forget, normal for this time of year, when we average all of those calendar days back in recorded history, we look at average temperatures in the 70s. So we typically are in the 70s this time of the year on average. But today, these 80s and 90s, yep, they are record breaking. And we're not done with the heat yet. In fact, all of our watches, warnings, and advisories have now been extended, pretty much pushed back a day. We were looking at Tuesday bringing the relief, but at this point, Tuesday is going to be kind of a rinse and repeat of Monday. A little bit of relief, but still hot and dry. So we're going to keep first alert weather now for 2 more days, Monday and Tuesday. We have that heat advisory. We have an excessive heat warning that's in place. Those are now going to go through Wednesday. So it's hot days, it's warm nights, not a lot of overnight relief, and that increased risk for fire. So this is all that to say, just a good reminder to find ways to stay cool. Let's start with those fire alerts first. We have a red flag warning that is now extended through 9 p.m. on Monday. So everywhere in this pink here is under that alert. This is that increased risk for fire because of how dry it's going to be. Mostly humidity in the 20s. I'll show you that in a moment, but temperatures still hanging on to 90s for many areas, upper 80s into the 90s. And speaking of heat, these are our heat alerts that have also now been extended. So these now go until 5 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So all day Monday, all day Tuesday, we will see above average temperatures continuing. This extreme heat warning is everywhere in this fuchsia color, so it's a good chunk of the foothills east of Puget Sound, also a little bit of the southern Kitsap Peninsula, and then it does creep down around into South Sound as well. The Tacoma metro area is included in that. That's because of those temperatures into the 80s and into the low 90s as well. Heat advisories in place everywhere in orange here, also extended now 1 more day. Temperatures are a little bit cooler in those areas, but still we'll see temperatures well into the upper 80s. Let's look at those temperatures. This is a look at your Monday highs. So up to the north, Whatcom, Skagit counties, you are looking at temperatures into the 80s with some 90s. Once again, Diablo Lake, Marble Mountain, you're in the mid 90s. You can find a little bit of relief around the San Juans. Mid to upper 70s are expected. So yes, find an island to escape to if you don't have that access to cooler resources like air conditioning. Island County, you're also in the low to mid 70s, so a little bit cooler there as well. Another great spot to escape to. Snohomish County, well into the 80s. A few low 90s are possible. Darrington looking at some low 90s. Same thing, Kitsap and King counties. You'll notice here we have fewer areas hitting the 90-degree marker, but it is still going to be hot, and it is still about 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of year. But Kitsap County mostly in the low to mid 80s, King County mid to upper 80s, and we could definitely see some low 90s popping up. Readings down to the south in Pierce and Thurston counties also looking to briefly touch that 90-degree marker. Places like Tenino and Yelm, Olympia as well. Puyallup is right on the cusp of 90 degrees, so it will be toasty down to the south as it usually is. Same thing down I-5. We are into those low 90s, but a big difference over along the coast. The coast is going to tap into a little bit of a pattern change, and that is going to help bring in some of that nice fresh air from the Pacific. We call that onshore flow, and that will also help cool temperatures down significantly. So while Puget Sound is taking a little bit longer to cool down, the coast gets to tap into that cooling a little bit earlier. So 60s expected along the immediate coast. The Strait of Juan de Fuca is right around that 80-degree marker. Hood Canal, you're still in the mid to upper 80s expected. Shelton looking to tap that 90-degree marker for Monday. Let's talk about fire risk. It's hot and it's dry as well. As we take a look forward at that potential for fires to start and spread, Puget Sound isn't quite as bad. We're mostly in the 40s and 50s. And yes, it felt muggy. Doesn't it feel muggy? I was talking to someone and they said, gosh, it feels like it's tropical. It feels like it's in Florida right now. And we are tapping into a little bit of tropical moisture as we look forward. But still, humidity levels are only in the 40s and 50s around the Sound. We could see some 30s popping up, places like Puyallup, a little bit lower. But really the driest conditions are going to be east of the Cascades. Leavenworth, Wenatchee, Yakima, you are in the teens. So that is definitely dry. That's part of the reason we have that increased risk for fire. So everybody, please just do your part and make sure those fires don't start, because if they do start, they will spread. As we take a look forward into tomorrow, one thing you'll notice here as we look at the meteogram is that it's a little more cloudy tomorrow, and that is going to be the trend looking forward. We'll have a little more cloud cover rolling in. Not quite rain chances yet. We have a couple chances for some showers and thunderstorms as well, but really all this is going to do is just be visual. It'll be some passing clouds during the day. Temperatures will be in the low 80s into the afternoon. And let's take a look at the why. As we look forward, I mentioned that word tropical. We do have some tropical moisture that's moving in as we head into Tuesday. This is Tuesday afternoon here. So a lot of times what we see, especially in the Northwest, is storms that roll through from the Gulf of Alaska. So they drop down from the Pacific, and that's where we get our rain. That's why Western Washington typically sees a lot more rain than Eastern Washington, because we get to tap into that moisture first, and then the Cascades suck it up so it doesn't make it to Eastern Washington. But that's not what we're seeing as we look forward. We have this moisture that's moving in from the south. We call this the monsoon, and that is going to be lifting up, bringing some light shower chances, mostly to our higher elevations as we head into Tuesday. So this is the wide view. I'll show you the close-up view in just a moment, but I do want to take a step forward and then show you that as we head into, this is Thursday morning here, we still have that little bit of tropical moisture, but here's that low that's developing over the Pacific. That is going to inch toward Western Washington, kind of lift up a little bit into the end of the work week. So all of this to say is we will have some moisture to tap into by the end of the week, and that is going to increase our chance for rain. That being said, what do you see here? No really big structure to this rain, so it's not going to be a super soaker event, as I lovingly call it. But what this will do is bring definitely that chance for showers. But with that chance, we also have instability in our atmosphere. So as we take a look forward, this is our CAPE value. Basically what this is fuel for thunderstorms. We do have an increased risk for thunderstorms as we look forward. So this is Tuesday afternoon. So I'll show you the futurecast close up in just a moment. But what I just showed you was that moisture moving in from the south tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon. What we also have here, and what this shows me, these red dots here are showing that higher risk for thunderstorms. That's exactly where we'll suck up some showers as well. So we absolutely could see some thunderstorms over the Cascades, mostly on Tuesday afternoon is what we're looking at. So let's track that. Into this afternoon, this evening, we're staying dry, but into tomorrow, Monday morning, to get your day going, there are those passing clouds. We do have a couple showers that could sneak in along the coast, maybe just a heavy drizzle, if you will, on Monday morning. Mostly going to be for our coastal communities, and it looks like the South Coast actually has a higher chance. We'll watch those clouds roll through, and then as we head into Tuesday, this is where that tropical moisture comes into play in Western Washington. We do have some showers that could develop, but they're mostly over our highest elevations. So you see that here over the Cascades. And this is when that instability is also hitting its peak. So on Tuesday afternoon, if you're going to be doing anything in the great outdoors, maybe hiking, you may want to reconsider, because we do have thunderstorms that look to move in for those highest elevations of the Cascades on the afternoon on Tuesday. What this means for Puget Sound, really not a lot. All this is if you look to the east when you're in the lowlands on Tuesday, you'll see those big towering clouds. We call those cumulonimbus clouds that will be over the Cascades. So it'll be cool to look at from the lowlands, but we won't necessarily tap into any of that. At least that's what models are indicating at this point in time. Then we take a step forward into Wednesday. This is Wednesday morning here. We'll increase that onshore flow. We have a couple showers that could drift by, mostly down to the south. But for the rest of us, all this really means is some increased cloud cover. And at that point, we'll let temperatures really start to cool down as well. I showed you those highs for Monday. They're toasty. We'll see temperatures into the 80s and the 90s. Tuesday, really not a lot of relief as well. We are still going to keep an eye on the potential for some 90s, especially farther south, South Sound. And as we head down that I-5 corridor toward Oregon, you have the warmest temperatures. So you're right on that 80-degree cusp. Look at Wenatchee, still hanging on to triple digits on Tuesday. So we're starting to get a little bit of relief, but really the relief isn't going to move in until Wednesday. At that point, we'll have a good 5 to 10 degrees of cooling around the lowlands, and we'll hold on to that relatively cooler weather, much closer to normal for this time of year, with those chances for some light showers moving in. It's looking like Friday is the best shot. So to sum it up, we'll put it to you simply on the 7-day forecast. Monday and Tuesday, we're extending first alert status through Tuesday because that heat really isn't going to see much change. It's going to be equally toasty on both days. The changes finally start to arrive on Wednesday in the form of some increased cloud cover, a few chances for some light showers as we head into the end of the work week, but no big rain chances are heading our way. And this is taking us pretty much into the end of August. That is a look at your extended forecast. Please be sure to stay with the King 5 weather team the next couple of days as we continue to fine tune it and keep you up to date on the latest forecast.
Let's check in with Leah Pezzetti now. Gosh, still a lot of snow in the mountains, that's for sure, even though we're in spring.
And we could definitely still see more snow. We're not done with new snow yet, but it's a little bit of a break right now. We've seen a little bit of sunshine today. It depends on where you are, though. Some areas are seeing cloud coverage. Temperatures, though, for everybody on the warmer side, relatively speaking. Right now, Seattle is sitting at 56 degrees. In fact, most of us are within just a few degrees of each other right now. Mid-50s are dominating Western Washington, and this is the normal daytime high for this time of year. 56 degrees is usually where we peak this time of year, and we are still expecting temperatures to warm up. So relatively warm conditions today. But some cloudy conditions. It depends on where you are. We can see the loop of Olympia these last few hours. Cloud coverage is definitely dominating there. But move north a little bit. Live look at Bellingham right now. It's much different. Someone's out there enjoying a boating day, and it is blue skies up to the north. That is thanks to this lovely low pressure system that is currently pushing south, but as it moves south, it's kicking moisture up into Western Washington, and it's hitting those southern areas first. So we are seeing that cloud coverage. It's right now right about Everett and south is seeing cloud coverage, and then north of Everett is seeing that sunshine. So really it's just depending on where you are is impacting what you're seeing. We do have a winter weather advisory that's in place until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Could pick up a couple inches of snow above 3,500 feet. So Stevens Pass is included in that. Really it's looking to favor the southern Cascades for the most part. We also have a wind advisory that's in place until 5 p.m. tomorrow with gusts up to 50 miles per hour for those East Puget Sound lowlands. Taking a look at what we're seeing right now for our current gusts, averaging around 25 to 35 miles per hour, and those will continue to blow for the next few hours. So let's take a look at what we're seeing big picture here. So right now we have this cloud coverage that's here. A lot of that moisture, that rain is staying south of us, but we could kick a few showers up into Western Washington today. So maybe a sprinkle or two around southern areas, South Puget Sound today, maybe along the south coast, and then along that Oregon-Washington line. There's that snow favoring the southern Cascades as well. But up to the north, much different story. You will stay dry, clear, and sunny into today. Then that low drops south, and we dry out for the most part into Wednesday and Thursday morning. Still going to hang on to a little bit of cloud coverage, but as that low pushes south, keep an eye on the Pacific. Then as I progress forward into Thursday, we have a low push in from the Pacific. That is going to bring our next round of rain, and that is going to continue into the weekend. So Everett, a little bit of mix of clouds and sun for the first half of the day, and then we're going to be dominated by cloud coverage by the evening, with temperatures lowering into the 40s by tonight. Tacoma, same thing, a little bit of cloud coverage hanging out for your Tuesday afternoon and evening. Temperatures today will stay above average. We're going to see conditions staying right around that 60-degree mark. Remember, I said 56 degrees is normal for this time of year, so we will still see some 50s, but we'll see a lot of 60s and low 60s as well. Bellingham, all that sunshine going to help you warm up to about 62 degrees for today. Then the changes come in the coming days. Into tomorrow, we will still hang on to those 60s. By Thursday, we're going to see a pretty good cool down, but we look to stay mostly dry. It's not until Friday that storm from the Pacific pushes in, and so increasing rain chances starting Friday, and those will hang out through the weekend. This week does mark 1 year since the bomb cyclone. We will have full coverage on that this week. We'll take a look back on everything that we saw 1 year ago. We had everything from a rare blizzard warning to tornado alerts. We had incredible coverage last year speaking to those people who were impacted by the bomb cyclone, and we're still seeing those impacts felt today. So be sure to stay tuned with King 5 all week long as we take a look back on everything that happened a year ago and everything that has happened since then of that bomb cyclone. All right, let's get to your forecast, though. Thankfully, this week is much more mild compared to what we were seeing a year ago. As we take a look at the big picture, tomorrow, a couple light showers are sticking around mostly in the morning. Tuesday and Wednesday are actually trending much more dry, and then the wet weather will return as we head into the end of the week. So let's take a closer look. Here's an hourly breakdown of your day tomorrow. The rain will favor the morning, so we do have some showers for the first part of the day, but then we'll see things drying out into the evening. Temperatures, though, really are not going to see too much warming. We are going to stay right around that 50-degree marker pretty much all day long, and that's the case across the board. Upper 40s, some low 50s, but overall it will definitely be a cooler day tomorrow. Let's take a look at that rain. Here's a look at your morning commute tomorrow, 7 a.m. It looks like most of the rain will stay around Puget Sound, but it will be a damp start to the day, so a good thing to keep in mind for morning commuters. Here we are at lunchtime tomorrow. We'll lift a lot of it up to the north. We'll start to see some drying down to the south, but it's really not until later in the day that we start to mostly dry things out for the lowlands. We'll shift a little bit of moisture over North Cascades, and we could squeeze out some snow for our higher elevations, but we're not getting down to pass level. Tuesday morning, we're going to start with some clouds. We could see some visibility issues as we've been seeing, but we'll actually see some clearing into the end of the day on Tuesday, and then Wednesday as